Oh, I'm back. This is my first weekend in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and I wish I could tell you about all of the adventures that I took, but I didn't take any. I slept. I slept a lot, and I absolutely needed to. The jet lag experience for me has been very real, and I think I'm getting the hang of it. We'll see. It's midnight here on Friday. Well, technically Saturday. That's something you should know. So weekends in Saudi Arabia are Friday and Saturday, not Saturday and Sunday. So my first weekend day is complete. At any rate, I want to give a couple of shout outs because several of you have been asking me questions about how I got to Saudi Arabia, how I learning about the culture. And so the first shout out I want to give is to Chris Smith. Chris is a VP at Addlestone Group, and Chris is a good brother from South Africa, but he lives in Bahrain, and he was my recruiter. And it's just been really wonderful working with him. He helped me think through this whole process. He helped me work out the details with my current employer, and I highly recommend him. I'm looking forward to seeing him as soon as I can get over to Bahrain. And he's got tons of other opportunities out there. So, not just in the coaching space. The thing is, you really need to be an expert in your profession if you're looking to come abroad. Several of you, again, have been asking me about um, what you need to do to get here. So you really need to be an expert in your profession. You need to have all the proper certifications, the proper um, undergraduate, graduate degree, whatever is required for the job, and have some years of experience. And then, of course, I'm going to encourage you to have some years of experience living overseas because you need to be flexible when you move abroad. And maybe we can talk about that a little bit later, but the level of flexibility that you're going to need to have might be a little bit different than what you're used to. So, just something to keep in mind. And then, as far as learning about the culture and the history and the people, and most importantly, these days, the projects, the big giga projects, and all of the wonderful things that are happening, not only here in Saudi Arabia, but also in the region. I want to give a big shout out to Karina Goetz, who is just an incredible teacher. She runs an organization called StarCat. She can tell you a little more about the name of her company than I can. However, Karina travels around the world and she speaks and she has an online course. I completed her Middle Eastern Foundations course, which is an online course that talked all about the Middle East and how the culture um, is experienced in the Middle East and what people wear and what they eat and um, the various leaders. The focus has primarily been on the Gulf Cooperation Council, so which is about 7 or 8 states, um, to include Saudi Arabia. And so her education program has been extremely supportive of me being here. If you are interested in her work, if you want to invite her to speak, you can definitely find her on LinkedIn, Karina Goetz, or you could also find her website at, I believe it's starcat.com. I'll put the correct website in the notes here. But if you aren't entirely sure that you want to go that far just yet, and you're just curious, you can sign up for her email list. She has something called the Middle East Sunday Pages, which is a great newsletter that she puts out every week with updates about the Middle East and what projects are occurring and who's doing what and what entertainment and new opportunities are presenting themselves throughout the region. So great resource. Highly recommend Karina, and I highly recommend that you consider this option if you are considering getting out of the US or getting out of the UK and living abroad. This is definitely something very different, but it is not for the faint of heart. You want to make sure that you are not only educationally and professionally strong, but you also are mentally strong, physically strong, emotionally strong, and most importantly, fiscally strong. It takes a little while to get going here. So you may need a couple of months of resources put aside to make sure that you can make a smooth transition into the Saudi kingdom if you come here or one of the other kingdoms. At any rate, I hope you enjoy your evening and I look forward to connecting with you again very soon.